It has been a little while, and I am sorry. I'm sorry. My last video, I told you guys I would try to update you the next day, and here I am 2 weeks later and haven't updated you, and I'm sorry. I promise that it was not my fault, and I will explain it all to you, I promise. I just want to start out by saying, no, I haven't had the baby yet. I'm still very much pregnant. Tomorrow, I'm officially 39 weeks. My due date is in a week and a day. Oh my God. I'm so excited, but I'm also so stressed. And I will get into why I'm so stressed. But I'm mostly just so excited. I forgot what I was gonna say. If that is not the reality of pregnancy, then I don't know what is. So I think just by looking at me, you can see how exhausted I am. Let's get into that a little bit. So at the end of my last video, I was telling you guys that I was 50% effaced, and I had started having contractions. I have continued to have contractions this whole time. I have had contractions for 2.5 weeks straight, and they haven't been painful. Well, they haven't been that painful. Some of them have been extremely painful, the really big ones. But I've been having contractions for 2.5 weeks now. I am 2 centimeters dilated now. I'm not sure if I'm effaced or not. They stopped giving me some of the information, which is a little frustrating because I can't exactly tell you guys if I don't know the information. But yeah, so they haven't been telling me what I've been measuring. They haven't been telling me how effaced I am or anything. They've just been telling me about dilated. And so yeah, I mean, I'm dilated 2 centimeters at this point. I have been having contractions for 2.5 weeks. I have, I've been having real contractions for 2.5 weeks. I'll put it that way. I am not having Braxton Hicks contractions. I'm having real contractions, and they are just mostly just been false labor contractions, which is like the old school term for it or whatever. But I can't remember what the new word for it is or whatever. But when it was explained to me, it's that they're false labor contractions because they are moving and they're progressing and they're lasting a really long time, which makes them real contractions, but they're not progressing anything. At least most of them aren't. And so that's why they're false labor, is because it's not sporadic, it's not anything like that. It's your contractions are 3 to 5 minutes apart, which is where it should be, and then they go to 2 to 3 minutes apart, and then they're 1 to 2 minutes apart, but you're not dilating any further. So that's why they're false labor, is because they are real contractions. Some of them are extremely painful, but most of them I've been able to just kind of deal with. I have ended up going into the birthing center 4 times, I think. The first time was the time that I told you about in my last video. But I ended up going in there 2 times in one day last week. I'm pretty sure it was Thursday. I went in there Thursday morning. No, wait. Friday. No. Thursday. It was Thursday. So Wednesday night / Thursday, I went in there having really bad contractions. I was sick to my stomach all day. Like, these contractions were real, and I was progressing some with them, but I didn't get that far with it. I ended up that's when I found out that I was 2 centimeters dilated. And yeah, I was just super sick to my stomach all day. I didn't feel right. And so I called them and I was like, look, I'm having contractions that are like 5 minutes apart. And they seem to be getting closer and closer. They were 15 and now they're 5. You know, what should I do? And they're like, go ahead and come in. We'll check you and see how you're doing. And then we were there until 4 o'clock. No, we didn't get home until 4 o'clock in the morning. And the contractions started at like 11 or something like that. So it was a very, very late day. They gave me narcotics, which I really didn't want. I am one of those people that if I don't have to medicate, I really don't want to. But they ended up giving me narcotics because to slow the contractions down and get them to stop, because they just wouldn't. And then later that day, they were even closer. They were like a minute or 2 apart, and they were still progressing. And so I went back in, and same problem. They ended up, we went in that evening, but yeah, same problem. And they ended up giving me more different narcotics, but more narcotics. And I cannot tell you how much I hated that, but they were really just trying to get the contractions to stop and get me out of pain, because the contractions hurt so bad, and I hadn't experienced contractions that bad before. So yeah, I mean, most of the contractions, they're really not that bad, and I can deal with them and everything, but lately the contractions have just been super painful, and so it's been really hard to just kind of sit through them. I had my doctor's appointment yesterday, and they hooked me up to a monitor because I'm still 2 centimeters dilated, and I was having contractions while I was in there. And they checked the baby. The baby's doing wonderfully. Her heart rate is great. She's doing really well, and she reacts a lot to my contractions. But yeah, they hooked me up and they said, you're still 2 centimeters. There's really nothing we can do to help you and or to move it along, because you're still 38 weeks, and we don't induce unless there's a medical reason before 39, and even after 39 we don't want to induce. And I said, I don't want you to induce me. I really don't want you to induce me. I would rather just do this naturally, have my water break or have them progressing. I really don't want you guys to induce me unless you have to. So, I mean, really it just depends on what happens this week, what happens next week, to see when I'm gonna have her. So I know that I will not be pregnant still. I will have a baby in a week and a half at least. They're not gonna keep me pregnant past that. So yeah, I'm so tired. There's been a lot of sleepless and restless nights because I've had contractions that will wake me up at night. And so they gave me some medication, and it's not narcotics, which made me happy. It's a lot like Benadryl, so it's just supposed to help relax the muscles and make it so I can sleep and not be in so much pain, because for the last week they've just been super painful contractions. And it's bad, and I'm really tired. So yeah, I mean, I I've wanted to update you guys. I really have. I've had the full intention of updating you guys after my appointment, after my last video, but then all this stuff has just happened, and I gotta tell you, it's exhausting being 38 weeks pregnant and having contractions for 2.5 weeks, and it's very exhausting. And so yeah, I'm really doing my best, you guys, and I miss you, and I really do want to keep you guys updated and let you know what's going on. I will hopefully, or possibly, or maybe see you next week for an update. I don't know. I will do my best, you guys. That's all I can promise right now, because I just don't know what's gonna happen. I could have her tonight. I could have her in 3 days. I could have her in a week. I could have her in a week and a half. So, I mean, it's really whenever she feels like it at this point, and it's whenever, you know, if it's not when she feels like it, then it's whenever they have to do what they have to do to get it moving along. So anyway, that is what has been going on, and it is exhausting just talking about it, let alone going through it. So I'm sorry this update is so long, but I felt you guys deserved it after the last month and a half of me being so, I forget the word for it, but absent, being so absent. You know, I really set out to do weekly updates, and I've just been gone because I've been dealing with so much. And so I'm sorry, and I will really do my best to update you guys as soon as I can. And I will also do my best to introduce you guys to Violet when she gets here, as soon as I can too, but we'll just have to see. So I will update you guys ASAP. I'm not going to make a promise for next week just because I don't know what's going to happen yet. And at that point I'll be 40 weeks. So we will really see. I will update you guys as soon as I can though, okay? Alright, I love you guys, and I'm sorry this took so long to put out, but I'm hoping to see you guys really soon, okay? Alright, I love you guys, and I will see you soon, hopefully. Alright, bye guys.